I want everybody watching this video to go ahead and check out Mark, aka Real to Real. It will be linked in the description. The man does some amazing work. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Peace out. Alright, so Dragon Ball Super episode number 53 aired today, and with it comes a lot of revealed information and a lot of questions. So for today's video, we will be discussing the connection between Zamasu and Goku Black. So for today's video, I am joined by Real to Real, aka Mark. How are you doing, bro?
What's up, D-Free? What's up, everyone? Always glad to be here.
We're always glad to have you, nonetheless. So for today's video, like I said, we're talking about Zamasu. Now, I want to start off the video by saying that a lot of information kind of came out about like Zamasu, who he is as a character, and some information about Universe 10 and stuff like that in this episode. But at the same time, not a lot was revealed. So we still don't have clear-cut answers or clear-cut answers as to who Black Goku is, or if they're the same character, or whatever the case is. That's why I brought on Master Theorist with me, aka Real to Real here. So if you guys are watching this, if he goes ham on this video, you guys need to go subscribe to him, because this is just what he does. I think that a lot of information came out in this episode, and some of it's really, really interesting, because you get into the aspect that, oh, they're traveling over here because the key felt similar in the last episode, and they even get to the point where they let Goku spar with Zamasu, and Goku immediately upon starting to fight with Zamasu notices that he gets the same type of feeling from him that he got from fighting Black Goku. But at the same time, while that's going on, they even have the drop lines in there that say, hey, it's similar, but it's not 100% the same. And as far as Zamasu's character goes, they start off his introduction into the series with him basically questioning humanity. He's saying that they start all these issues, these wars, all these problems. Are they really worth our time? So that's basically the same motivation that Black has exhibited towards, wanting to destroy humanity or get rid of humanity or whatever the case is. Now, Mark, for starters, do you think they're the same character?
Yes and no. I know it's a lot really. First of all, I just want to say, I know it's really easy to sit around and think, okay, well, Black is Zamasu, because the show is taking so much time to kind of draw these connections between the two characters. But it's at the same time that also kind of makes it really easy to kind of brush it off and think, well, they're just trying to, direct your attention elsewhere, and then they're going to hit you with a big twist sometime down the line. I'm kind of in the middle. Obviously, with the same but similar but kind of a little different key and everything, there's just so much to say that Zamasu is actually Black. Personally, because Black, or Zamasu actually, is kind of said he's like a Kaio and he's training to become a Kaioshin in Universe 10, very kind of iffy on whether he's from Universe 10 or if Universe 10 is just like a realm to train the Kais. That was something I was actually kind of curious about myself, but I think that, yes, I think Zamasu is Black. Now, how he becomes like Goku and everything is really iffy. But the reason I'm saying this is because I feel like since Trunks' timeline is 17 years into the future, and when Trunks comes back and they have Whis kind of explain this whole concept of butterfly effects and everything, and how one event will change the other and everything, when we meet Zamasu before he meets Goku, Beerus, and Whis, he has this deep-hearted resentment or something, just deep-seated kind of resentment from humans, and he doesn't necessarily understand. Basically, like you said, everything that has Black all over it. He just has all these concepts of like, oh, this, that, and the other. They're very similar thought processes. So I'm thinking, like, what if this was basically what Zamasu was right now in Trunks' timeline, and then 17 years in the future, he's already become a Kaioshin and everything, and there's some kind of plot convenience or plot device they haven't revealed yet, and actually gets him the ability to become Goku Black or kind of take on Goku's shape, and then he kind of goes from universe to universe, or even just Universe 7, destroying worlds and universes, trying to take out humans like Black is doing. But because of this whole butterfly effect and everything else, basically just Trunks going back and Black going back to some degree is going to kind of create this butterfly effect that kind of changes Zamasu's mind, because while he still has these deep-seated resentments for humans after fighting Goku, which was really apparent, maybe what if he's going to kind of see the sacrifices and all the stuff that Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Bulma, Gohan, Videl, everyone else is going to make in order to stop Black, aka him, and start to see like exactly where he went wrong, and then we're going to see basically Zamasu take out Black or himself or his future self.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it can go so many different ways, which is why this is interesting, because they're basically kind of on the nose with it. They're saying, hey, this guy feels this way while that guy feels the same way. Oh, they've got similar types of ki, etc., etc. They basically really want you to think that they are the same character. Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit. You touched on a couple things I wanted to comment on really quick. We talked about it a little bit off air. Basically, Zamasu is a Kaio, so he's the equivalent to like the King Kai, basically. And then he was in training to become a Kaio-sama, which would be the equivalent to the Supreme Kai. Now, the thing is that he's on Universe 10's realm, and when they show up there, his mentor, Ozamu or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I totally forget. It's totally insignificant guy. No, he asked them, why did you come to Universe 10? Implying that, yeah, this is not really what's happening in your universe. You should stay to your universe. You came way over here, and we says, hey, we're going to be bouncing around between universes, which is interesting in and of itself. Maybe Black is a guy that kind of, like you said, is Zamasu from the future. He hasn't become him yet. Maybe there's some ripples with the butterfly effect. Whatever the case is, maybe he's a guy that bounces universes or traverses universes and just eliminates humanity between them. Maybe that's something that he's interested in. That would make a lot of sense, because he just seems like he just wants to get rid of them all the way around. He doesn't care about, you know, the differences between them, the subtle differences. I think that Black as a character is interesting too, because of the whole dynamic with him. And something that, like, we were kind of talking about a little bit off air, that really kind of throws me for a loop with this is that Black is just like, he's a little bit different because he never really experienced Goku in the same light that Zamasu did, because obviously at the end of his fight, Black's fight with Goku, he says, so this is Son Goku. Oh, okay. This fighting stature basically suits this body pretty well and stuff like that. But I think some of the most important information that we got about Zamasu is, like you said, his deep-seated hatred for humanity. And the whole point of him fighting Goku was to kind of enlighten him as far as, like, you know, humanity is not really all that bad, even though it's very noble what he's trying to do. He wants justice. It's very noble that, you know, he's recognizing that humanity has made mistakes. They've done things. I mean, they even knocked themselves out in Universe 6 altogether. Like, they completely eliminated themselves. So it makes sense. But at the end of that interaction with Goku, when Goku leaves, he's like, I'm not going to forget you. And it didn't seem like that went positively, Mark.
Well, they're not the same person. I have to stress this. They're not the same person. I mean, the butterfly effect is already starting to occur. The Black Goku that we've met would have never met Goku. Now, that's really confusing. If that is true, I know, like, Toriyama has even said that this whole concept, he's had to iron out some details to make it a little bit more acceptable, because obviously Goku's been dead in Future Trunks' timeline. Plus, there's this idea that we have Black Goku coming in from the future, going back into the past, and why would he do this? I'm just saying, like, I feel like this Black Goku never met Goku in the same way that he met him now. The ripple effects already started to occur. I feel like I kind of touched upon it at the very beginning of my little rant over there, but I think there's this kind of a duality where, like I said, it's either that they're setting up a twist, which I feel like is kind of what Toriyama does, but I don't think he's ever been on the nose of it this much, where basically everyone is saying it's one thing, it's one thing, it's one thing, it turns out to be another, and you're like, well, okay, it's not like I didn't see that coming, because it became way too obvious after a certain point. Or I think Toriyama is so afraid of keeping everything consistent and making everything kind of understandable to the younger crowds than it actually is Zamasu, and he is worried about not only explaining how Zamasu comes to look like Goku and all that other stuff, that he's kind of taking this concept on the chin and being like, well, obviously Zamasu is black, and then we can just kind of move on and help explain all the other plot conveniences that we have to explain in order to figure out why Black Goku is actually Black Goku. So who really knows at this point? I feel like that is the main question here. Is Toriyama being sincere with the way everyone's talking and all the convenient plot devices connecting Zamasu and Black? Or is it all just like that because he's trying to trick us out, fake us out? So who knows?
Well, one thing's for sure, we're going to have a hell of a time having Toriyama explain all this stuff. Hopefully he can explain it to where it doesn't make my head hurt. Sometimes he does that. It's just like, what? This doesn't even make sense. No. Well, thank you for joining me on today's video, Mark. It was definitely a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, man. We love having you here on the channel. All the subscribers love you, man. You're like a fan favorite, bro.
I think I'm your fan favorite.
Everybody. Yeah, Blick for sure. That guy. He's like, oh, you always talking about me. No, everybody, if you're watching the video, subscribe to Mark. He's an awesome guy. As you can tell, awesome content over there. But that's it for us. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Peace out.
Bye.